Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to use this My K-Cup reusable K-Cup with the Keurig K Supreme. So the reason we got to use this new My K-Cup, I bought it for 10 bucks. It says new design, is because it's got an opening for 5 needles. This K Supreme has 5 needles up here. So we can't use like a standard reusable K-Cup from Perfect Pod that only has an opening for 1 needle. This won't work. So we've got to use this. So this comes with this little adapter that's for a different type of Keurig. So we're going to want to take this off. If you've got a sticker here, you got to remove the sticker. It leaves tape residue. But again, you just it's got this gray adapter. You got to remove this gray adapter. We don't need this gray adapter. Then see that this plug. So this reusable K-Cup is for other Keurigs that just have a single needle also. So it can do both. So we got to remove those little plugs. So we've got these little white dots here. It's on lock. We're going to move it to the unlock position, and then we just simply pull this up. This is held on there with just an O-ring. And we've got this red thing now. So we got to take these red plugs off. What that's going to do is that's going to open up all 5 holes for the Keurig. So now this, when we close the lid, all 5 holes will fit. All 5 needles will fit in there. So now the way we're going to do it, we're going to put normal coffee grounds in here. It has a max line. See the max line right there? That's about 2.5 tablespoons, not quite 2.5 tablespoons of coffee that we can put in there. Now, Perfect Pod sells this easy scoop. When you buy this pink one, you can get a for like $6. You can get this and this easy scoop, which is 2 tablespoons, but it's got this nice lid. So you scoop your coffee grounds, put this, and it's real easy to put it in there because you don't want any coffee grounds on the outside. If you get any coffee grounds on the outside of this, they're going to make their way into your coffee cup. So then we've got this black thing here. So once you put your coffee grounds in here, you're going to put that there. And now we've got, make sure we got the red thing out with the plugs. We're going to leave that out because we don't need it for this machine. Then we're going to line up the white dots. So I've got a white dot and a white dot. I'm on the unlock. You got to kind of press this down and then turn it to the lock position. Verify that that is all equal because sometimes those don't catch and you'll have one that kind of sticks up like that or something. So make sure they're all down in their little grooves and you're in the lock position. Now it's ready to be inserted, but we got to do one more thing. So there is a little extra step when you use this type of reusable K-Cup. You've got to remove this bottom needle basket. And so be careful, there is a needle down in there, but we're not going to be messing with that. So push from the bottom as you pinch on these little ears. So as it's two-handed operation, push on the bottom and push on these ears, then this whole needle basket will come out. Again, there's nothing sharp on the bottom, just that needle right there. So we're not going to need this whole basket to use this reusable K-Cup. Now I've got the reusable K-Cup. It's got an arrow. The arrow is going to go up that way. It'll only fit one way. So now we just place it in there. It's nice and flush. There's a big opening for this big notch right there. Don't get it off center. You know, make sure it's, you don't want it like that or nothing. You want it nice and flush, nice and level all the way around. So that when I close this handle, I'm not forcing it. See how that's nice and gentle. If it's misaligned, you could break this handle and break the machine. So make sure it's nice and level and you're not forcing it. So this reusable K-Cup uses just standard coffee ground. It's ground to a medium grind, which is what you buy when you buy coffee like for a normal coffee maker. So here we've got some Folgers. It's at a medium grind. You don't want it too fine. You don't want like an espresso grind or the water won't go through if it's really fine. So again, we're going to open this up. Just pull this off. This is only held on, there's an O-ring. It just kind of snaps on there. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons. There's a wire mesh screen here. That's our filter. So we fill the scoop up with coffee grounds, put that on. Now we don't compact these or anything. So I do have room for just a little bit more coffee. I can put a little bit more coffee in, or I can leave it just like that. I think I'll leave it just like that because I brew. So that's 2 tablespoons. That's what's inside a normal K-cup. A normal K-cup holds 2 tablespoons of ground coffee. And I brew my normal coffee K-cups on the 8-ounce setting. So I'm going to brew this on the 8-ounce setting too. So now all I got to do is take the black thing, place it in there. Then I'm going to line up the white dots on unlock and then just turn it to lock. Make sure it's all the way. See, that one's up a little bit, so I had to press it down. Okay, this one's ready to be inserted in the Keurig. So all I do is I just come over here, make sure the white dot is going forward. It's nice and level. I just close the handle. And I'm just going to brew this like a normal K-cup. I can do a strong brew. I can do 6-ounce, 8-ounce, 10-ounce, 12-ounce. Whatever you feel, you might be able to go up to the 10-ounce if you go all the way up to the 2.5 tablespoons. It still tastes a little weak to me, even at 2.5 tablespoons. But I brew mine on 8-ounce. So I'm just going to select 8-ounce and brew. So I don't know if you noticed, but I did get just a little bit of water coming out around the pod. So you can see some of the water, not all the water went through the K-cup. Some of it kind of comes out and around, and you'll see it kind of coming out around. Now, it wasn't very much. I was expecting a little better results because see how this got these O-rings to kind of seal on that? I was kind of hoping I wouldn't get any water, but I did get a little bit of water. So you might see drops of water coming into your coffee that didn't go through the pod. I was hoping since this was made by Keurig, it might work a little better than that. So people ask me, how does it taste? I think those reusable K-cups taste really, really, really good. The only thing is at the bottom of your cup, you do get a little bit of sediment. Now, I don't know if sediment is good or bad for you, but it doesn't look the best when you're finished drinking your coffee. I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, and then I'm going to show you that sediment. So let's go over cleanup. Be careful, this can be hot. And we're just going to open it up and see what it did. So again, we just go to the unlock position. You have to wash the black thing out too. But we're going to pull this off. Be careful, this can be hot. So there's what it did with the coffee grounds. So here I've got the coffee grounds out. Now you still have to wash the inside of this with soap and water because coffee does have some oils in it you got to get off. You're going to have to wash this. They say all 3 of these parts are dishwasher safe. I just wouldn't put them in there. They seem awfully small to me. I would use a brush to clean the inside of this. But you can see there's the coffee. It looks like I did a pretty good job with the coffee grounds. It got them all nice and saturated. But again, I want you to look inside. There's no paper filter in here. I'm going to cut open a normal K-cup has a paper filter in it. And that's what prevents sediment when you do a normal K-cup. I'm going to brew a normal K-cup and we're going to compare the results. So I put my needle basket back in. I'm going to put a normal K-cup in and brew it on 8-ounce. I'm going to brew just a normal K-cup into this and let it sit. Okay, so I brewed an 8-ounce coffee with a K-cup and we're going to cut it open. So here we have a normal K-cup. Here's one before it's brewed. You can see the coffee sits in a nice paper filter. Now after it's brewed, it comes out the bottom, and there's the paper filter. And if I push it up, there's where the coffee grounds sit in. This paper filter is kind of important if you want to prevent sediment. So you won't see sediment in a normal K-cup. But over here we've got our reusable filter. It's got just this wire mesh screen. Now you would think that would prevent all, just the coffee flavor would come through, but it does allow a little bit of sediment to come through. Okay, so I'm gonna dump this out into a bowl, and I'll show you the sediment. This cup was with the reusable filter. This cup was with a K-cup. There's that sediment I was telling you about. Again, I don't know if sediment's good or bad. I've drank coffee with sediment in it before, and it's hard to taste it, except you do see it when it gets down to the bottom of your coffee cup. So now here's just a normal coffee K-cup. Now it gets just a little bit of sediment. I mean, very, very, very minor. Very minor compared to So again, I just wanted to point that out to you. That's why you're seeing the sediment when you use the reusable K-cup. So this reusable K-cup also works in the K Supreme Plus. This is the K Supreme. The K Supreme Plus has a few more options. Looks about the same, but it's got the same type of brew head with 5 needles. Now the advantages of using this. So K-cups cost anywhere from 50 to 75 cents a piece. And I've done the math. By using 2 tablespoons of ground coffee, you can it costs you about 20 to 25 cents to make a cup of coffee. So a reusable K-cup is about half the cost of a K-cup. And it is a little bit more environmentally friendly. I mean, you got to recycle this and that metal, where here you just got to wash that out. So again, this makes a good cup of coffee. You might get a little bit of water coming out around here, so you might see a couple drips. Again, you've got to remove the needle basket in order to use the reusable K-cup. I hope the video helps. If you've got any questions on this reusable K-cup, please leave them in the comments down below. I'll try to answer them as best I can. I hope the video helps. If you could, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.